I've used my allotment, apparently. And we have been talking to you and at you, and I hope wonderfully so. But you have to have questions. So if you'll give me permission, what I'd like to do is shorten my section into a one-liner. No, I want to say a couple of concepts to you, and then what I'd love to have happen is I'd love to have Michelle and I stand in front of you and just give you a chance to ask questions. We'll be back tonight with a session, and then a session tomorrow morning. But I can just tell, if we teach a bunch more, we're just overloaded. We have got so much magnificent concept. How many of you agree with me that this is good? Good plan. All right. Well, first of all, Michelle, that's profound. I'm sitting there in a session thinking about my own daughter's party and thinking I just want to be done with the weekend so I can write to her and be in touch with her and start the process with her. Because of my three kids, she gets this release. She gets the experience in place. So, very, very beautiful. It's so, we did not talk before, we did not chat before about this, about where we were heading this, but as you listen to my daughter's, Amy's story, you will hear such an incredible overlay. So I hope this is meaningful to you. No, I just looked at you had a lighter, but it'd be good. No. Okay, this is 2003. Amy and I are sitting in my car on the mountain again. Same pattern each time. I buy her a chocolate shake from Wendy's and we drive north of Lincoln and 32nd Street until we overlook the city. I ask a few questions. She gives short, begrudging responses. We sit some more. When I realize it's not going anywhere, I drive back down the hill. This is drive number 6. I'm not sure what else to do. Amy's been hiding her life from us, going to bed when we do, and then slipping out later to the computer, entering conversations she knows that we would fight her on. She's becoming more closed off. She's been fighting everyone's protection of her and hiding communication from a world she doesn't want to know about, one doesn't want us to know about. Now she's pulled away. I never wanted this for my family. I thought I'd done everything to prevent it. I find myself going into cop mode where I make ultimatums and threats of loss of privileges. I hate this. I never wanted to be that dad. It's everything I taught against. I think she's not opening up to me because she's not sure that she can trust me. I've been pretty absent for a while now, buried in my own aspirations. Amy pays the most of anyone for the absence of my emotional presence. She's forced to figure out things out herself and to come to her own conclusions, formed in isolation. And I'm only now seeing. I'm desperately trying to earn my way back into a trust that can protect her heart. She wants it so much, but she does not want to be fooled again. She can't tell if my sudden attention is because I'm doing the good Christian dad thing or because I adore her with everything in me. So today's approach is different. I have no agenda. I just want my daughter to know my sorrow and my apology and my commitment. I'm tired of fighting her. I want back in. So badly. After a few minutes of silence, the same silence of the last 6 times, I find myself blurting out, Amy, I don't know if you believe me, but I would give up everything I am or can do. I'd move our family to Grass Valley, and I would deliver mail to convince you of my love. I don't have anyone in the world I love more. No. I will do anything to convince you that I want to be your fan, your protector, your hero. I will not lose you, my daughter. I'm so sorry I've been so self-consumed. You needed me and I wasn't there. It will not happen again. And that day, she melted. She believed me. She opened up and she poured out her sadness. She let me back in. The next year, we will meet almost every week for coffee before school. We will go through Proverbs, 1 Peter, 2 Timothy, John. Mostly we will talk about everything and anything. She is listening to me in a way that I have never been listened to. And I am listening in a way that I have not listened before. I'm getting to be a father in a way that my father walked with me. One afternoon, months later, I asked Amy for keys to her car so I can put her new registration form into her car's glove box. I opened the door, and there, taped all across her dash and above her dash are 3x5 cards with verses and quotes from our times together. And I stand transfixed at that dash for a long, long time. My daughter has been drinking it in all along, and she's wanting to live out the life that her father's trying to describe. I come into the house, not knowing what to say. She's sitting on the couch, staring at her laptop. Had the thought about me seeing those cards when she gave me the keys? Had she thought about that? I choose to not say anything, and she doesn't seem to be waiting for my response. I sit right next to my daughter, smiling as I thumb through a magazine. And I write in Awakening. My children desperately need for me to own my failures. It allows them to trust me so they can express their own pain, vulnerability, and their very best moments. It's my daughter, Amy. She has had the most difficulties in this life, and she is the one who knows me best, and who, she's my favorite. Caleb's also my favorite. It is too, but beside the point. I felt the need or the desire. I'm going to cut this so short, so just buy this book. It's really great. Just take my word for it. Co-op it. Buy one book and pass it around the world. This is The Cure in Parents. We wrote this trying to say, when your children are young, being the parent carries enough control to handle them. But if you don't grow up as they grow older, your immaturity will stunt their maturity at the level of your own. And no measure of control can handle that. So this book is about us growing up. Not about fixing the kids. Not about getting them on your team. In fact, here's the introduction that we wrote to it. Some parenting books are written to buy time until your kids get old enough to reason with you. This is not that book. Some are written to help your kids get on board and fix their attitudes and compel them to behave better. This is not that book. Some are designed to help keep your kids from embarrassing you in public. We wish it was that book. It's not. Some books are filled with techniques and formulas so you can gain the upper hand in battles with your kids. This is most certainly not that book. This book is much more about us, the parents. There is a cruel joke that somehow slipped under the door. It goes like this. These children we waited and longed for have now become our opponents. Opponents we love, but ones we now have to manage. It's not supposed to be this way. God gave us children to enjoy endlessly, and for them to be able to enjoy us for an entire lifetime. That's why we wrote this book. To learn how to earn our children's trust so that we can receive the wonderfully transformative privilege of, if you'll give me this first slide, the privilege of getting to give our children love, our love, and to teach them truth and to provide them guidance. That's our stuff. That's what we get to do. And the way to do it, when we discover that the truth of the next state, nearly everything begins to change in the way we parent. Because God's primary goal is earning my trust so He can love me and increasingly mature me and correct my behavior and free my life. Well, then I'm going to offer the same to my child. See, God has done endlessly more than enough to have earned my trust, but He knows that until I actually practically do trust Him, very little that He desires for me will come to pass. My lack of trust comes from my fear of trust, not His worthiness to be trusted. So because He loves me so deeply, He continually reveals Himself as trustworthy, breaking down my fears and walls of self-preservation. As I grow to trust the perfectly trustworthy one, I heal, I mature, I become free. It's why David's always calling out, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord's good." When you're able to see Him accurately and trust His intentions for you, oh gosh, what a marvelous life you'll have. So that's how we approach parenting in this book. I'm so pleased. It took us a long time to do this book because we didn't want it to be like so many behavior modification parenting books that we had seen. I want to unpack two words: love and trust. Love is the process of meeting needs, period. Anything else is just hallmark sentimentality. Love is always the process of meeting needs. You will never hear Jesus talk about love or the Father talk about love unless it's in the context of meeting needs. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. Love is the process of meeting needs. So, here I am, as a parent, and I want to love my kids. I want to meet their needs. I want my kids to be able to get the best of me. I want influence. I've waited for this. But here's the challenge. Love is connected to trust. Will you put up that next slide? Oh, guys, the degree to which your children trust you is the degree to which they will let you love them and influence them. My gosh. Just stop there for a moment. First of all, is that true? Yeah, it is. You see, some things, I can get information even from a telemarketer. I can get facts and data. That's why our churches sometimes are filled with information, because you don't have to be trusted to be able to give information. But discernment, wisdom, insight, love, those all come from the heart. And for them to be passed on, you have to trust them. It's why both of us do a lot of letting you know about ourselves, letting you know our stories so that you can trust us early on so that we can impart more than information. The degree to which your kids trust you is the degree to which you love them and influence them. I say it another way too. The degree to which I trust you is the degree to which I will let you love me no matter how much love you have for me. Powerful statement. So earning trust is a giant thing. I've got to earn trust if I want to get behind remember what we were talking about today. To get there, to be able to have permission into the lies that they tell themselves. I have to earn trust with that. It takes humility. Humility causes me to say to my child, I was wrong. I hurt you. That was about me. It's being winnable, even though you're the dad and you can win every possible argument, every possible fight, simply because you're louder, you're bigger, you have all the toys, you have the curfew, you have everything. But they may comply, but you won't get that heartfelt obedience. So I'm constantly asking the question, God, how do I win the trust of my child? And the answer is my integrity. And it's not integrity like the River Good Intentions integrity, where I do more right things and less wrong things. It's simply being able to be trusted for that which I say I can do, and to admit things that I cannot do, and to not promise that I can do. Does that make sense to you? That's integrity. Your children, they're studying your face for it. They're studying your life for it. All it takes is, you know what? Because they're watching me and they're saying, I think I can trust you for that. And you're modeling it not just for you, but for everybody that they'll learn to trust. They're saying, are you someone, if I gave you this, would you be able? And so I get to say, trust me for that. And I will do it. Or I can say that your dad has absolutely no capacity to work on your car. None. Less than none. Zero. I would be a liability. If I lift the hood, how I would lift the hood, I don't know. But if I could lift the hood, I could only do damage. And they go, got it. I guess what I also want to have you hear is that your kids are great with you failing. They're okay. They can handle your failure as long as you own it. As long as you don't pretend that you didn't fail. That they can't trust. That they won't trust. And anytime somebody's in leadership over another, this is a great statement to be able to make. Anytime if I'm the adult and the child, or if I'm the boss and this is the employee, or whatever I want to try to take out that distance, I can just use these words, and I would use it in a different way for children, but I use this a lot. How am I affecting you? And your wife will say to you, I ain't touching that. Why are you asking that? Because I know you, and you do not want to know how I'm affecting you. But to be able to say, I want to know to my child, and to be able to say, over time, I'm going to keep asking this question. Your dad wants to know how I'm affecting you. They really do. And they'll try it out. They'll do small things at first. They'll go, I mean, at times you can overreact, perhaps, maybe a little bit, often, like every conversation almost. And you'll go, no, I do not! And then you'll say, really? Okay. Gosh. So what are we going to do about it? Teach your dad what he doesn't know. Because he doesn't know a lot. Really, Dad? You would let me in on that? Yeah, I really would. Somebody a long time ago, I used to hear it all the time. We're not our kids' friends, we're their turds. And I go, you can't parent unless you are their friend. This beautiful gift of you saying, my this is your dad. I'm broken. I come from some really weird stock. Some odd Irish stock. Our hair's bad, we have weird ruddy skin, and we overreact. And I want that broken younger generation. I want to have the privilege of protecting you so it can be broken in that generation. And so you start out when they're young, you can't use that fatal language, but you can get that access. And you can convince them that you're vulnerable. And they will trust you. They will obey you from the heart because they know they're not being played. They know they're not being worked. I would say this, I want to say this to you because sometimes parenting is so daunting. That I want to say these words over you, both of us do. Every single man in this room, who is a parent or is going to be a parent, or has grandchildren, or is an uncle, or is a father-in-law, or is all of you, every single one of you, you are right on time. Right now, you are right on time as a parent. God did, before the world began, He intended supernaturally that we would be here together. He says, now, I want you to hear that last session. Now, I want you to hear these truths. I want you to believe them. Now, not yesterday. You guys are right on time. You are completely enough to be the parent of your children. He cannot love you more than He does, and He will never love you less. He cannot love you any more than He loves you right now. And no matter what you do, He will not love you less. That's true for every single man in this room because of the nature of our God. He has made you righteous and holy and without condemnation for every step of this journey. You're going to mess it up, and every single time He says, therefore now there is no condemnation for you guys who are in Christ Jesus. None. Ever. Yeah, but what if I fail? None. But what if I have to none. What if I'm compromised in my own life? Well, I'll do none. This is the nature of Christ. When I got hold of that you will not condemn me, Jesus. So I'm not condemning you, John. I know you. I identify with you. I'm the one who's charting your course. God loves you to the exact extent that He loves His only Son. And you're never being played by God. Ever being played by God. God never sees you as endlessly behind or unable to catch up. He's not ashamed of you or ever disgusted with you. He is not ashamed of you or ever disgusted with you. The shed blood of Jesus Christ, shed on that cross, made that to be true. You have this incredible freedom to run headlong into being a great joy and favor. He says, because I'll never be disgusted with you or ashamed. You fully belong. You're fully known. And you have always, as we said earlier today, you have a brand new, shame-free identity. Your shame has been broken. It's gone. You're going to fail. You're going to mess up. You're going to do foolish things. We are maturing in our righteousness. But shame is a word that started in the garden, and we covered it up because we said, we don't know how God's going to be. And God says, here's how I am. I love you, and I know who you are, and I'm proud of you, and I know what you've been going through, and I know your history, I know your background, and there's nobody on this earth I'm more proud of. How crazy is that? So this guy, who never wanted to be a dad. Isn't that interesting? My wife never wanted to have a husband, but there were laws, and so she married me. I never wanted to have kids, I just wanted to be famous. And my wife, Stacy, taught me how to want to be a dad. I remember we were driving one day, and Caleb was 3. And we were at Northern and 12th Street, and she said to me, "You're going to lose him." I said, "What?" "You're going to lose him. He already can tell that you're not fully there." And something kicked in that day, and I said, "God, you're right." So Stacy, teach me how to be a parent. I have no clue. And I have an idea that you have a good clue. Teach me how to be a parent on a bride. I'll teach you how to parallel park, but you teach me how to be a parent. And we have been doing that ever since. And my bride would now say, "John, you're one of the best dads I've ever known." And this man did not want to be a parent. So here we go. And Amy, oh my gosh, that precious little girl, on my birthday, on my 65th birthday, you know what she did? She loved me. She didn't know how to say it. So she gathered, my birthday is February 16th, so in February, 28 days, she made a basket out in the front yard, and she picked 28 people, or couples, and she said, "You have to buy a gift for my dad, and you have to write a cool letter to him about your relationship. And you have to somehow get it into that basket each day on the day that you're supposed to do it without him seeing it." And then you do it all. For 28 days, my daughter made it so that my very best friends in the world brought a gift, and then I just got to read this letter of our relationship. Guys, it's so stinking worth it. And such as us can do it. I thought the show gave such great tools, but I want to say this last one. The language of love is captured in affirmation. Not just for kids, but for all of us. All of us need affirmation, and all of us need to give affirmation. Now I know because we're largely evangelicals that we have been told that if I affirm you, it'll probably go to your head. And you get puffed up. How many of you? Yeah. How many of you? I don't want to ask you that. Here's the truth about affirmation. Affirmation simply says, "I've watched you, and the behavior that you're doing, the way that you live this out, and who you are, apart from your talents and anything else, it blows me away the way you're living. I just want to tell you that. Thank you. You're incredible at this. You're very good at this. Man, I don't know too many people who can do what you can do here." It's been said that kids without affirmation as they grow up, they don't know who they are. They're not sure what they can do and what they can't do. Affirmation is such an incredible gift. And instead of puffing up, you know what affirmation does when it gives to give, not to get? Affirmation actually humbles me. And it makes me want to do more of that for which I'm being affirmed in the place that affirmed me. That's so cool. You can't give too much affirmation. People say, "Well, I don't need affirmation," but they need to affirm me. I make this statement. Most men get the part of loving their wives really well. I will love her, I will take care of her, I'll take care of the family, I'll do these things, I'll do these chores, I'll make sure things are taken care of. I get to love her. But the saddest wife is the one who says, I never get to love you. You never let me into your heart to where I get to love you. And for you to give her permission, for you guys to create a culture, and that's what I'm doing with my kids. It's one of the only things I know to do well. I can tell them who they are. And I do that really well. I mean, really well. It's all I care about. Just tell me my kids, tell me my bride, who I see them to be, how Christ has made them, who I see them in this world. So, the only thing, we have a tool that maybe when I come back in the fall I can bring with me, and it's simply 100 adjectives, and you circle it. Kind, loyal, leader, funny, there's 100. You circle like 50, and they get to have this piece of paper. But over on the right side is a spot, simply where you take 5 of those words, and I'll tell you the ones I did for Amy. And what I do is I take my daughter, I take my son, I just say, may I go out with you? Where would be your favorite restaurant? And would you allow me to go out and spend some time and affirm you? That's always weird. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. But I already know you love me, Dad. What's the big deal? Good, but would you let me? Okay, where are we going? How expensive can we go? And then eventually there comes a price where suddenly they would love to be with me. For my daughter Amy, what I do is I take a 5x7 card and we just write those 5. And then I have prepared myself during the week or during the 3 or 4 weeks before, and I want to tell her anecdotes, I want to tell her situations where I've seen it played out. And so I take that card, and during dessert, I say, looking into Amy's eyes, looking into Caleb's eyes, looking into Carter's eyes, and making sure that I have full eye contact. Last time I did it with Amy, I think I said, you are heroic, daughter. You have been through so much and so much pain. You had an affair and you lost your marriage. And you did not run away. You came right back into this community and you sat right in the front row of our church. And you've let us love. And you've let us know. And you have chosen to not be identified by shame, but as this beautiful, beautiful, strong woman that you are. I get to say that to her. I get to tell her that she is a fierce friend. I look in her eyes and I give anecdotes about how she has been a fierce friend. Then I get to say, you know me best. Of all the people in the world, including Stacy and Caleb and everybody else, you know me best. Because you care endlessly about my life. And I get to tell her that she's funny. I get to tell her that she's our kinkeeper. We can do that. 5x7 card. In a little bit of time. And a lot of money for a restaurant. We get to do that. But the fact that we add content to it, it's not a slogan for her. It's an incredible statement of, Dad, you know me. That's what when it was done for me on my birthday, my staff put me in the center of the room. And they surrounded me. And they affirmed me. And they all looked in my eyes and told me 5 things about myself, and that's 15 staff people. I had to leave real quick to go to Sweet Tomatoes to meet with somebody afterwards. And as I stood in the parking lot, I started crying. I thought, oh my gosh, God, this is since the moment I became a Christian, what I asked you that you would do with my life. So we have that gift. Every single one of us can do this. Every single one of us. Okay, I've been yakking way too long. I want to bring up my friend, and I want to have a time where you get to ask us any kind of questions that you would like to ask us. Really, real estate, tax evasion. Okay, we've been talking a long time. From her session, do I have it right? From her session, from any of the sessions you've heard before, tell me, what are the questions you have for us? Yes?
So, your last session, you said that stuff was working for daughters, but it works for wives too.
Yeah. Any female in your life. Can you imagine even those? How many of you are employers? You think so many of the broken women working for you? Like he was saying, do you think if they were affirmed by a boss, they would perform better at work? This stuff works anyway.
Doesn't work for ex-girlfriends.
What's going on with that? Some of you guys talk to me in between about estranged daughters. How many of you, just so you know you're not alone each day, that's the situation you have with your daughter? Okay, a few of you. I would just love to offer, would you like an idea? Again, I'm all about action for men, practical action steps. Even for those of you that might have distance with a 12-year-old, right? Like, it's just hard right now. Or maybe with a 6-year-old, that you want her to have this, oh man, I just got to download. You guys, the Dr. Seuss books, All the Places You'll Go? There was a dad, I think it was a dad, that took that book and had every one of his daughters, kindergarten, first grade teacher, second grade teacher, and when she graduated from high school, he gave her that book. But all the teachers had written, it'd be brilliant. He didn't have to write it. But he said, I want those teachers to affirm her. So, there's even a creative way to just love on your daughter. But here's my idea back to the estrangement. It kind of goes with this idea of a book. Because I would say you guys, by far, the most emails I get from dads around the country are due to estrangement with their daughters. And they say, I don't know what to do. I can't reach her. I just feel like I'm spinning my wheels. She won't open my letters or sends them back or whatever. And you just get gut punched, right? And you go, I can only take that so many times and I can't get up again. And so the idea that I give them is to go buy a journal, like one that you think she would like one day, and then begin to record things in it. Prayers that you have for her, wishes for her, things you wish you could tell her, dreams you have for her, prayers you're praying for her, and write them in there with a date, and then it becomes like a time capsule that it'll keep your heart in the process, right? To say, when God opens the door back up, I'm going to be able to give you this book that said, Daddy had your back.
And lets her make up for lost time by just seeing the timeline.
Yes. Yeah. Because the enemy will have her believe that you didn't care, and it'll get all twisted in her head that it's about you and not her. But that might be one way that you can keep your love alive and your heart open during the years that there's distance.
Yes.
I'm Rudolph, and I have a question for both of you. I have an 18-year-old son, and I was out of his life, in and out of his life for 10 years, fighting my addictions and stuff. And also, I was talk beyond. Is it too late for me to change that?
Would you go first? Well, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Well, today is today. It's not too late. And while we are learning, like the things we're learning here today, there is a language. I love what you did as adding I wondered. We as dads especially felt like the way that we would fix things is to just control it. Don't do this. You shouldn't do this. Why are you doing this? And after a while, they can't hear anymore. It just becomes Dad's powering up on Dad's winning again. But there's a language of the heart. There's a language of love that says, I want your new creature to come out and play. And so it means you go on more car rides. you drive with them more, and you ask more questions, and you're able to say, I don't know that this is going to mean anything right now, but I want you to know that that was about me, not about you. And I want to stand with you now to the level that you love me. And he, at first, won't buy it, because he knows all those years. And the other thing you get to do in it is, if you believe me, I want you to take the permission to tell me when I start to use that language that says you're not enough. There's something wrong with you. I know it's scary to do that because I'm bigger and I'm louder. And if you want someone to come with you, like a sister or a mom or whoever, I don't want you to be afraid around me. I want to take that away from you. So however that has to happen, I want you to have the permission to say that. See, what you're doing is you're taking that power person and saying, I am a humble servant. I'm not the power broker. I'm not going to win anymore by this. And you can't, because you're a brand new creature. You have Christ in you. There's no condemnation for you. And by the way, your children. Is he a believer?
Yes.
Galatians says he's a brand new creature. He has a brand new heart inside of him, ready to respond to spiritual talk, to affirmation talk, to I love you, son, talk, to how are we going to do this together talk. And it is not 18, oh my gosh, you just begun. If you said he was 84, I'd say, yeah, it's going to be tough. You do it, and the fact that you're asking this question, yeah, this is a done deal. Well done, my friend.
Rudolph, is your dad living?
No.
Was he an affirmer of you? Or are you doing the same thing he modeled?
No, he was like, I thought my dad was a coward. I was more ashamed because he didn't really do anything. My mother was more the fighter than my dad was the quiet.
Dad was the
My
quiet.
dad, he was a real upstanding dad, motivated to be able to, but he just was quiet.
Yeah.
Like a aggressive type. He was more passive.
So if your dad showed up right now and was the opposite, he was active, would it be too late for you to have your dad affirm you now? Okay, but there's the answer for your son.
Amen.
Mic drop. Because you guys, so many of you that I've talked with, I'm not trying to out anybody, but you'll notice that one of the things I'm listening for is your own stuff. So when you guys tell me your stories, I'm going, let's either ask Holy Spirit to take you back, but because you're going to have stuff in your own story, right, that's impacting that interaction with your kid. And that's where you get full healing.
Yes, and there's no more.
I get our last teachings about breaking the cycle.
Yes.
How about the path that wasn't broken and was done?
Say that again.
I get breaking the cycle.
Yes.
Having a friend.
Yes.
That's great for coming.
Yes.
How about past?
In your life or from your family's life?
Oh, let's stand up about my life.
Yeah. Want to take a shot first? I have stuff that was passed down to me. I come from a line of, I told you, Irishmen. And we are all, my dad was a Mensa atheist, brilliant atheist, top half of Mensa. And he was the most logical guy in the world. I want to tell you this story really quick, until he got embarrassed. And when he got embarrassed, my dad would hurt somebody. Not hurt them physically, but hurt their feelings. And he would, if it wasn't his wife, he'd hurt our feelings. This logical, brilliant man. So get this. We're writing The Cure, which I can only tell the story now because it's done really well. But they had disinterested readers, people that didn't know us, and they put it in cue cards sent to us that said what they thought about the book after they read it. And everything was fine. I'm typing all this stuff in a staff meeting, and then this one card says, I love this book, it was really helpful, except for whoever wrote it. It was terribly written, the characters are stupid. Well, I'm the one who wrote it. and whoever this is should promise to take a writing class and then never write again. And inside I'm churning. Inside I'm flipping out. And I'm faking it in front of everybody. And I go to my office and I'm spitting. I'm going, see, this is it. I ruined everything. I've done this all the way back. I'm going back to Little League now. And I'm playing all this out. And my wife happens to call me. And Stacy says, hey, just want to find out what time you're coming home for dinner. And I responded something like, that's and she said, you don't sound good. And I said, no, I'm fine. And I want to say this, and I mean it. I trusted Stacy with so many things, but I've never trusted her with this little fragile boy who gets ruled. Never, ever. I'm not sure if I'd ever trusted anyone. On that day, for whatever reason, I was so desperate that, you don't want to tell your wife because she's already embarrassed of you. She's wondering why she married you in the first place. It's just going to get more fuel. But I told her, I said, Stacy, I'm freaked out. This guy said really mean things about me, embarrassed me in front of all of our staff. And she said, well, I've always told you you're a better speaker than a writer. I thought, if you knew my wife, that's just boom. But then she said, but I read this book and it's going to do incredible things for people. It's really, really well written. And if this man or woman knew that you live these things out with our kids and me, you wouldn't be so mean. I don't know anyone like him. And then she said, come home now. Come home. I've got a meal, favorite meal, I've got the twinkle lights going, I've got a fire going in the fireplace. When you come to the front door, I'm going to kiss you like a rabbit on a furlough. Don't even ask. You don't want to know what that looks like. And she says, I need you to come home. And I don't know if my wife was earning my trust all those years for the purpose of getting to protect me, or if she was tired of getting hurt when I got embarrassed. But I went home, and I was so fragile, and she met me at the front door, and she did kiss me like a rabbit on furlough, and I came into the backyard, and there was a wine, my favorite bottle of wine, or non-alcoholic. Something what happened. I was fragile that night. Our kids were there. I went to the elders meeting afterwards, and what I want to say, nobody got hurt that night. This whole history and lineage of my background, my cycles that I had walked into that weren't my fault, by trusting another person with me, it got broken. Not just present day, but here's my historical John Lynch. I had to let somebody love me, because I can't see myself that hurt. Even while I'm hurting people, hurting their feelings and doing it, I'm justified. But for my wife to be able to protect me, we need to let her protect me. My gosh, whoever that is for us, whoever that person is, it changes everything. So that's how I face my cycles that I walked into this game with. Does that make sense? Thank you.
That would go to your house.
You have to go to my house, and do you like wine? What's that?
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper will do the, no, it won't. Yes, you do have to come to my house. And I know some of you say, but I don't have that kind of wife.
Or we didn't write a book or something else.
Oh, yes, that's right. But just as Michelle was talking, you can teach your wife to be that kind of wife. Your need of her allows her to learn to become that kind of wife. And if it's not your wife, it'll be your son, or it'll be your best friend. Yeah, I'm proud of you for asking. Go ahead. Yeah, we're going to go two more questions. Yes.
So this is kind of related to the messages on here, specifically for teenage boys. So I have a 15-and-a-half-year-old boy. It's always fun to ask them questions and you get kind of that one-word answer. And so the boys, obviously, with daughters, spouses, the affirmation of beauty, or I really love how you interact well with your friends, or what a kind person you are, those types of affirmations. With boys, there are certain things specifically, which we're also performance-driven as men, that we should be aware of and do differently with young people that we should get from.
Yeah, well, a lot of, you guys have probably read a lot of John Eldridge, things that talk about the power of men. And I really, through my 10 years, I tried to really use a vocabulary that's a bit more masculine. You guys like the word power? That's a term. So you think even as a little boy, ask yourself, what would I have wanted to hear from my dad? And again, I talked about inner and outer beauty, but I think for women, right, doing both and not either or, you guys are the best to tell whether what I'm saying now resonates with you. Would you say you want to affirm character? So it would be, here's where I saw you work hard, here's where I saw you didn't give up, here's where you're courageous, here's brave, grit. But then do you also want to say outward things like, I can't believe how strong your muscles have been getting since a year ago. Like things you can work harder, like you have more strength now, like things that you see behaviorally. Do you guys think it would be good to do both and that way? So it's like accomplishments, things, but character. So you're kind of balancing. I think instead of beauty, it would be brawn or brains or those kind of things. What'd you say?
Yeah.
You'll take beauty.
If I can just even speak that, but even speak to their identity in that, but making their identity that strength, that thing of power, that thing, right? So it may be 1, 2, or 3 things that key on their identity, but translating that into that power and that strength.
Amen. One more. Unless it's not very good, then we'll. No pressure at all. Go ahead.
This is Mary. How would you hope you did remedy a 10-year absence of contact between father and daughter?
You asked me that one earlier, about a 10-year absence. So one of my ideas is that journal idea. And I've had dads where the daughter refuses because either there's been abuse or there's been too much hurt. And I think for dads, sometimes, sadly, that is the fallout, right? You have to honor her boundaries and honor her being safe. And while you pray like a big dog, like every single day, right? For God to do a restorative thing as He's changing you. But I think part of the deal with that, you could talk to that, John, if you have a different thought, but is you have to know the backstory to the estrangement.
Should I know what it is?
Oh, you don't know what it is. Will she take letters from you? No? Because often I've had dads where I say she may not feel safe enough to be face-to-face with you, but would she through writing? Could you start there? Letters or emails?
I don't know about sticky notes.
Sticky notes, there you go. I think another thing I oftentimes is if you have a relationship with your daughter's mom, is to really use her as an ally and ask her what she believes would be a good way to reach your daughter's heart. I think sometimes as men you may think, I don't want a woman to tell me what to do. I go, that's being me. But that's another resource. I think the more you guys can really listen to the mom of your daughter, you're going to get so Thoughts?
No, I'm like, damn.
Can we do, I know we said one more, but both of you guys had one first.
Sorry, I, 6-year-old, and she's been, my wife and I, we don't know how to handle this. When she gets upset or she does something to her brother, like accidentally she bumped into him and start crying, she'll automatically turn into herself and start saying, I don't like myself. She'll get really sad or she'll hit herself, like, I don't like myself. And, typically, my response to that is, I try to hold her, sit down with her, and ask her, I love you. I'm really curious, why don't you like yourself? But it's not, I don't know if it's a phase, I don't know what it is, but it really concerns me.
Or if it's Genesis 3:15, you know?
Maybe, but is there any different approach to that?
A daughter that age.
Yeah, I think one of the things, and you're not asking this question, but one of the things is I always want to take them out of the shame and embarrassment of being disciplined in front of the other sibling.
Right.
So it's crazy, but sometimes, like this guy said to me before this, he hurt his sister's feelings and did this, and I'm just about to take his phone away and take all these things away. What do you think I should do? And I said, I think you take it out for ice cream. And get him out of that situation where shame plays the role so that he has the safety to be able to hear, and then he can go back to his sister and apologize and probably later. But he gets a chance to be away from that situation. So I think in the same way, even here, when she plays those words, for you to be able to take her out of that situation, where the brother's not around, where nobody's around, where you and she, you get to love her.
Are you saying like right away or like just?
Yes, right away. If the opportunity's there, I go, let's go. And she learns, well, at least tonight, someone's the favorite. She gets to know your love. She gets to know your affirmation, even in the midst of that crisis. We're not going to solve that crisis right now. We're not going to solve why that happened right now. But I get a chance to, in a diffused situation, I get to love my daughter really well. And then I get to talk about the situation. And if it is her fault, she did something wrong, the antidote to guilt is repentance. The antidote to hurt is forgiveness. But if someone's done something wrong, the opportunity for them to be able to say to their sibling, that was my fault. I'm sorry. It's just life-free. When they don't get that opportunity, it gets stuffed away, and they don't know what to do. So I don't know if that totally answers that question, but for you to get to be away, when she says words like, I hate myself, she's trying to say partly, I don't know how to get clean. I don't know how to feel clean. And so to let her know that Jesus, and what he did on the cross, presently right now, if she asks, he will make her fully clean in that moment, and feel fully clean. And so you get to lead her into asking her, would you like that? For her to be able to say, God, I don't know how to do that. I feel so bad. I hate myself. She's sometimes calling out for that. Can you lead me home, Dad, to a way to feel clean and to get things right with my brother or with whoever? Does that make sense?
Or even herself.
Absolutely.
Like I did my doctoral dissertation on the relationship between unforgiveness itself and eating disorder symptomatology.
Yeah.
Like all that self-loathing, self-punishment, self-hatred that gets expressed through an eating disorder, which I have right through my 20s. But I want to add one more thing to that. This is something that I've spoken to a lot of junior high girls and high school girls about, and it's the difference between their who and their do. So you talk, Frank, about identity. But you know how 6-year-olds, they like little rhymes? Well, we all do. They're easier to remember. Would it be helpful at all if you taught her the difference between her who and her do? Because I've done this one where I go walking down the aisle with all these junior high kids and I make them go my who is not my do, but my who Is it got to? And like, do it again. Okay, you guys gotta do it with me. You won't remember. My who is not my do, but my who is in God's who. Does that make sense? Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. My who is not my do, but my who. But my who is in God's who. Is in God's who. One more time. My who is not my do, is not my do, but my who is in God's who. Like maybe something like that, because then you're like, was it what you did or is it who you are? Because she's flipping her do to a who. But teaching her young, like, was it a do or was it a who? Maybe that'll help to start separating it out, because I'm telling you, by the time she gets into junior high, that's going to be a good foundation to lay it. So that might be helpful.
Guys, thank you. And thank you for, you have focused, locked in, stayed in the moment. Everything that we asked you that you would, you've done. So we just want to thank you, first of all, just for looking. Father God, again, take these words, take any confusion out, and let those solid, strong, powerful truths, let them be said, let them talk to each other, let them be written down, let them get on texts at home and say, when I get home, I want to talk about this, I want to get this out, so that it becomes real and true. Father, all those apps, all those things that Michelle wrote down, let those become conversations that keep this beautiful conversation going. These guys, they're exactly the ones who God has given to these children. The God of the universe who makes no mistakes. How beautiful. Thanks, Father. Be with us until our next session, till we get together. In Christ's strong name, amen.